You've probably heard the term data science thrown around, right? And maybe it feels a little intimidating, like you're missing a key piece of the puzzle. Well, don't worry. Today, we're going to crack that case wide open. Let's jump right in. Okay, I want you to start with this one single question, because honestly, it's the key to everything we're about to talk about. What if every problem was really just a mystery waiting to be solved? What if the answers to our biggest challenges are already out there, just hidden in plain sight, kind of like clues at a crime scene? And that right there, that's the core idea for this entire explainer. We're going to look at a data scientist not as some, mathematician in a white lab coat, but as a modern day detective, someone who pieces together evidence to crack the case. So, what is data science, really? The official definition? Well, it's both an art and a science. But I want you to really zero in on that last part, storytelling with numbers. See, a great data scientist doesn't just find a bunch of random facts. No. They weave them together into a compelling story, a story that leads to a clear, undeniable conclusion. And check this out. This is where the analogy gets really cool, because it holds up perfectly. In a detective's world, you've got the mystery, right? Who done it? In a data scientist's world, that's the business problem. Like, hey, why are our customers leaving? The detective's clues? That's just raw data. User clicks, what people buy. The suspects? Those are the patterns and trends you start to uncover. And the verdict? Well, that's the final actionable decision you make based on all that evidence. So, what kind of person does it take to be this kind of data detective? Well, a true data scientist is often called a unicorn. Yeah, a unicorn, because they have this super rare combination of skills. Let's open up their toolkit and see what's inside. Okay, so a really great data scientist basically lives at the crossroads of three totally different worlds. As you can see, you need the hacking skills, the computer science chops, you need a solid foundation in math and statistics, and this is so important, you need real expertise in whatever subject you're actually investigating. That little unicorn in the middle, that's the rare person who has somehow mastered all three. Let's break that down a bit more. Hacking skills just means you can write some code, to grab data from a website or manage a giant database. Math and stats knowledge means you know the difference between a pattern that's actually real and one that's just random luck. And domain knowledge? Honestly, that's just common sense. You can't find useful insights in basketball data if you don't even know the rules of the game, right? All right, so every good detective has a process, right? They don't just run around randomly looking for clues. And data science is exactly the same. There's a clear 6-step investigation that will take you all the way from the first question to the final answer. And listen, it all starts with asking a really good question. A bad question is super vague, like, what can our data tell us? A great question is super specific. Which version of our homepage actually gets more people to sign up? Once you have that, then you can collect your clues, clean them up, look for patterns, build a model to predict what might happen, and then finally, you present your case. Okay, so if you think data science is all glamour, building cool AI models all day, here's a little reality check for you. A shocking 80% of the work is often just the unglamorous job of cleaning up the data. It's the dusting for fingerprints phase, and it is absolutely 100% vital. So why is all that cleaning so important? It all comes down to this classic saying, garbage in, garbage out. It's so true. You could have the most brilliant algorithm in the world, but if you feed it messy, unreliable, garbage data, you're going to get a garbage prediction. Every single time. The quality of your answer depends entirely on the quality of your clues. So what does this dirty data actually look like in the wild? Well, think about all the annoying stuff. Missing information, like a user with no age listed. Inconsistent entries, like one person types CA and another types out California. You've got the same person listed twice. Or just impossible stuff, like someone who's supposedly 200 years old. Fixing all of that, that's the real grunt work of the data detective. Okay, so we've covered the theory, the skills, and the process. Now for the fun part. Let's see how this detective work cracks some huge real-world cases. Cases you probably interact with every single day. Case number 1, Netflix. Their business problem is actually pretty simple, but it's massive. How do they keep you watching so you don't cancel your subscription? To solve this, they have become some of the absolute best data detectives on the planet. And get this, these are just some of the clues Netflix is collecting about you. It's not just about what you watch, it's when you hit pause. If you binge a whole season in one night, they even track which specific scenes you go back and rewatch. Literally, every single click you make is another clue for them. And this is where it gets really brilliant. This is what they do with all those clues. Based on everything you've watched, they put you into what they call a taste community. So the poster you see for a show like Stranger Things can be totally different from what your friend sees. Seriously, if you love rom-coms, they might show you the teen romance parts of the show. But if you're a horror fan, you're going to see the scary monster. It's hyper-personalized marketing, and it's all driven by data. Okay, let's look at another classic case, the Moneyball story. The problem here was crystal clear. The Oakland A's baseball team had practically no money. So how could they possibly compete against powerhouse teams like the New York Yankees? Well, they turned to data. The huge shift here was moving away from a scout's gut feeling and towards cold, hard stats. For like 100 years, scouts would say things like, "Oh, he looks like a good player." The data detectives, they ignored that completely. They focused on one single key number, on-base percentage. And by doing that, they found all these undervalued players who didn't necessarily look the part, but whose numbers proved they could help the team win games. And you know, that's the real power of thinking this way. Once you start to see the world as just a giant collection of clues, you'll find mysteries to solve literally everywhere. The data is out there, just waiting. The only question left is, what case will you decide to crack?